we got Michelle Churchill, which I actually got to know quite recently. We chatted, a couple of weeks ago. And I got to say that, I talked to John Melton, who is my sponsor, earlier today, and I say, what can I say more about Michelle Churchill? And he said, well, she's crushing it in all ways. She's really leading it by example. So let's give it. Mrs. Churchill is a former HR specialist. She went home for her 2-year-old daughter as a single mom. Spent an evening cleaning houses, guys, just to make extra money to make ends meet. She's been like myself, only about 2 years with this amazing company that we have, and she is now and has been for a while the number one recruiter in MLive Nation. And I'm just going to say it, she's probably the number one recruiter in the whole company, although I don't have that confirmed. But I'm guessing that because she is absolutely unbelievable. But she's not only, crushing it on the recruiting side, but she's crushing the customer part as well. We have a dual compensation plan, as probably most of you know, which is amazing that people do not need to, build a team here to make money. They can make a huge amount of money without building teams. But the big money is obviously in building both sides of the compensation plan, and that's what Michelle Churchill is doing. She recently hit, a couple of months ago, she hit Elite 1 in the compensation plan, Platinum Black in the customer part, and she's just crushing it every single month. I heard that she had over 50,000 points in her customer part last month, which basically says to every one of us, she is truly leading by example. So are you there, Michelle? Michelle Churchill.
Do you guys hear me? Yeah.
I can hear you now.
How are you?
Hey,
awesome.
fantastic
Oh my
to
gosh,
have you on
I'm
the
super.
call.
Yes, I'm really excited. Oh my gosh, I remember listening to one of these calls, not joining Modere yet, and I listened to it and I got so fired up and I just caught the vision. So I'm really, really, really excited. Thank you for having me on.
Michelle, it's an honor for us to have you on. You're absolutely crushing it in every way. And we just want to ask you to tell your story here today, and to the people that are listening, maybe for the first or second or third time, they're still thinking about it, what they're going to join or not. So please share the story, your story, and how you became so successful in a short period of time, please.
All right, thank you. So my name is Michelle Churchill Dworack, and I reside here in good old Michigan, where there's lots of snow and lots of different seasons. But I was a person who said no to this industry for 5 years. And I didn't even know what I was saying no to because I didn't know what I was saying no to because I literally just had this belief in my mind that people who did this were housewives who stayed home and maybe they made $100 a month and they just enjoyed filling their time at home with doing something like this and having a community of people. And little did I know, to fast forward, having a child and going through a divorce and having $60,000 in debt from student loans, that I became extremely desperate for something like this. I was working full-time as an HR specialist. I was out the door because I had a 30-minute commute by 6:30 every morning, and I didn't walk in the house until 6:30, 7 o'clock every single night. And I'd walk through those doors as a single mom, doing the routine of dinner time, doing bath time, reading time, all by myself. And I actually had to rush it because then I headed into the basement where I did hair. And by the time I cleaned up, I was sometimes wrapping things up and getting into bed around midnight. And I did that Monday through Friday for a very long time. And on the weekends, I gave Bella up to one of my sisters or my mom, and I cleaned houses or would look for any type of raking of leaves, cleaning up dog poop, or shoveling to make an extra buck. And that's what I had to do in order to live paycheck to paycheck. Money was constantly the issue. And I got to a point where I started to miss a lot of milestones that were really starting to affect me as a person. I had a lot of mom guilt. I got diagnosed with anxiety and depression because of the onset of being under such stressful situations and working so many hours. And I had a pivotal moment in my life where I hit rock bottom. And that was going to work one day in corporate America as an HR specialist, and I was put on to do exit interviews for a group of 10-year employees, so meaning they were there 10 years or more, to do an exit interview because their positions were eliminated. Not laid off, eliminated. And I'm going to be honest with you, that was a little bit of a tough thing for me to do. And it's when I realized that I was just a number. And that night when I went home, that evening was a little bit indifferent as well. Isabella, at bedtime, started screaming and crying, bawling her eyes out, clenching onto my hand, begging me not to go into the basement to do hair, crying that all mama does is work. And here I have to let my child cry herself to sleep because I was a single mom, didn't have anyone to support me, and I have a client in the basement who I have to go do a cut and color on. That night when I went to bed is when I started praying for something like this. Like on my hands and knees, there has to be something out there for me. And that is when that seed, 5 years of saying no, I was like, okay, I think I'll become open. So I became open to taking a look. I realized if these amount of people, when I did the research, 400 million people a day, dollars a day is paid out to normal people like you and I, why can't I do it then? What are they doing? What do I need to do? I need to listen, and instead of listening, I need to take massive action. It's like going to a fitness class. You can't go to the class and watch the fitness instructor. You have to take action on what the fitness instructor is showing you what to do. So I jumped all in, and it was actually my previous company. It was a health and wellness company, and I jumped all in, not knowing anything about different comp plans, different companies like social retail versus multi-level marketing and network marketing. And I actually made my way to the top in the first 24 months by being consistent. Honestly, what Natalie said, pouring into myself. This is a personal development journey for everybody with an income attached to it, and every single one of us can put a sticky note in our car on our stereo and pour into ourselves with books like Go for No or The Slight Edge or Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life, and we can start to change these limiting beliefs and negative thoughts that we have about ourselves and be able to do something like this. So as I'm reading personal development books, I'm going to wrap this up, I came across a book called 6 Figures to Success by Rob Sperry. And just seeing that book, I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get my hands on this. I was Googling, personal development books for making money online, and this one came up. And I came across a chapter. And in that chapter, I was introduced to John Melton. And we just started communicating, and I didn't know anything about comp plans. I was just telling him my numbers and telling him how successful I was. And I said no to taking a look at social retail, but eventually I was like, fine, what is it? Within 12 hours of watching that video, I resigned and walked away from a full-time income. Income disclaimer, I'm talking almost a 6-figure income to restart from the ground up. And it is proven to be the best decision that I've ever made in my entire life, just like Natalie mentioned. I love leading people. I like going to fitness classes and doing the fitness class with people instead of watching them, but 96% of people out there, they do not want to do that. They want to be able to come in and scream from the rooftop, just like if you go out to eat and you're like, this was the best nacho ever. They want to be like, this hero product that's backed up by science and has clinical studies and is helping me replace toxic ingredients in my life, to be able to have them come in and do this on the side and be able to earn an additional $500 to $1,000 a month. And I saw that. And I have been able to quadruple the amount of people because of the dual-sided comp plan. And also the hero products, not having to know everything about all 80 of them. We connect people to tools. We never have to come in and be like, well, I need to try the products for 2 years or 90 days because I just have to know everything about them. We can literally come in, we point through people the tools through a system that John has created, ATM, and we already have the verbiage from the company explaining what it is that we're sharing with them. And then the leadership that is here, just like you mentioned, Gunnar, like there's nothing like it. In the industry and realm of all of network marketing, the top leaders and the most successful are here in social retail, and there's a reason why, because it checks every single box. the systems, the hero products, and the leadership. So I am not only pumped up and fired up that I am now in my 5th year of doing this, but literally I have helped more people now than I can count on all my fingers and my toes be able to say yes to something they financially couldn't say yes to before, or the mom or dad that was out there like me working 2, 3, 4 jobs, missing out on milestones, they got to pull back. So this is an opportunity for anyone who can make the decision to be positive, coachable, willing to grow, and hungry for more. And that is not a skill set. That is a decision. And you're one step away from it.
I mean, Michelle, really, I am pumped up. I wouldn't need an airplane to fly home after this call, after listening to both of you ladies here on the call. And you're so 100% right. It's all about mindset. It's about what you believe you can do, and we can do everything if we set our mind to it. And it's absolutely unbelievable to see both you, Natalie, and you, Michelle, crushing it with this company. And, I got to say, the last but not least,